recidivism rates at the village are 0%. We've had no one return to the streets. That's amazing. The only person that has transitioned out of the village has transitioned into permanent housing. That's amazing. Beloved Community Village is a pilot project, according to the city. Well, guess what? The pilot project has succeeded, right? So where are we going? Well, first of all, we're going across an alleyway. We are literally moving 200 feet at the cost of $25,000. The second place we're going as Colorado Village Collaborative is we're going to build the St. Andrews Tiny Home Village in spring of 2018. The third thing, because all good things come in threes, is that we are going to create permanent zoning for tiny home villages in 2018. You can put that on the books.
We're so grateful for all of you and the community support that we've had and the collaboration of people who've been behind this for years and seen it smack them in the face and smack them in the face and smack them in the face, who just kept going and kept going, are the reason I have a roof over my head.
So why are we here? We're here because homelessness is not an individual problem, it's a systemic problem. It's something that is caused by our society at large making bad decisions that screw people over. Those decisions have to do with our housing market, with our economy, and so on. We have not always had mass homelessness. Some people think that it's just life. Of course, there's people that live on the streets. There's people, like Aurora said, the presumption is that we choose to be homeless. That's not always been the case. Mass homelessness really began in the early 80s. We see a massive skyrocket of people that are without housing that comes at the exact same time as the federal government slashes the budget for low income and public housing by 77%. We can talk about the stats and the numbers that relate to where mass homelessness came from, but the bottom line is we need to know that this is a systemic issue caused by our society's failures to treat housing as a human right, to treat people as human with human rights to survive, not an issue that has to do with the cause of individual people with problems. We all have problems. And if we're going to blame all of our struggles, all of our housing situations on our problems, then we're telling the wrong story. Because our situation is one of a societal one. We depend on each other. We don't just depend on ourselves. We want to be here to talk about connections between our struggles. And the struggle of homelessness is intricately connected to the struggle of transness and the struggle of being transgender. So we're going to talk about that connection here. That's a part of our whole event tonight. And so why are we here? Because of making that connection. And I'm going to pass it off to Debbie to make that connection.
Hi, my name is Debbie. I'm a transgendered Vietnam veteran. Living on the streets and being transgendered makes things especially difficult. It's hard enough to live on the streets as a woman, but living on the streets as a transgender woman and trying to maintain your identity is damn near impossible. When VA finally put me into a shelter in Beacon Place down on Colfax and Meade, they forced me to present myself as a male after I'd been living as a woman for 3 years. That put me into an extreme depression. In fact, my VA psychiatrist wanted to prescribe antidepressant drugs. And I told him, no, doc, my problem is not chemical, it's situational. And I proved that to him when I finally got my HUD-badge voucher and moved into an apartment of my own and became Debbie again.
So I need you to remember, homeless people